You're just like my favorite song going round and round my head. Like my favorite song going round and round my head. You're just like my favorite song going round and round my head. Like my favorite song going round and round my head.
Welcome to the auditorium for this morning's keynote. Please have a seat, fill from the front, and don't leave any empty seats. Thank you.
Lost my shape, trying to act casual, can't stop, I might end up in the hospital, changing my shape, I feel like an accident, they're back to explain their experience. I'm ready to leave. I push the facts in front of me. Facts lost. Facts are never they seem to me. Nothing there. No information left of any kind. Lifting my head. Looking for the danger signs. There was a line, there was a formula, sharp as a knife, fox got a hole in her. There was a line, there was a formula.
Your attention, please. Kindly take a moment to locate your nearest fire exit. In the unlikely event of an evacuation, please follow the directions of the CCD staff and proceed directly outside. Please do not attempt to re-enter the building unless told that it is safe to do so. Thank you.
Everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine natural sight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. Dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine natural sight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight. Dancing in the moonlight, dancing in the moonlight. Everybody's feeling warm and bright. It's such a fine natural sight. Everybody's dancing in the moonlight.
Pulse community, we're starting very shortly. Please be seated. Thank you.
I've been waiting all my life for something. I've been down the darkest roads and up in the clouds, but I've always felt that something's missing. That was until I found you right there in the crowd. You came into my life and started a fire. You made me feel like I could touch the sky. Oh, there's nothing missing now that you're my desire. Now all I have to do is to make you mine. 'Cause I know, and you know what we could be. Like a song, like a perfect melody. Baby, don't say you don't believe in me. 'Cause you know, and I know.
Please welcome to the stage Gainsight's Vice President, EMEA Sales, Kevin Shirley.
Good morning, Dublin, and welcome to Pulse Europe. First of all, who's excited to be here? Well, there is somebody who's especially excited to be here today. I'm going to take a little second just off script because he's worked with me for 9 years, and today is his 40th birthday. So happy birthday, Adam Wicks, wherever you are in the audience. This is our first time hosting Pulse Europe in Dublin, and I have to say, although we couldn't make it to the Emerald City, well, the Emerald Isle is pretty magical in itself, don't you agree? Whether you're local or you've flown in, we're so glad you're here. Now, at the end of every Pulse, we ask the same question to all of the attendees. What was your highlight from the event? And again, we hear the same answer. It's the people. It's the community, it's you. I've been at Gainsight almost 9 years. I've been to every Pulse Europe event since 2017. I agree, that's the highlight for me. My time seeing and speaking with all of you. And while I certainly see some familiar faces, especially on the front rows, I'll be meeting many of you here for the first time. So, on that note, stand up for me if this is your first Pulse. Hey. They did say if you pull the desks out, it's going to be difficult to stand up. So that's great. Thank you very much. Okay, let's go to the multiple timers then. Stand up if you've been to multiple pulses. All right, we got a good mix. These are your go-to folks. These are the people that know all of the little tricks, how to get to the food queues quick and all of that. All right, let's have a quick fun one. Stand up if you're excited to split the G here in the home of Guinness. I know there'll be some Gainsight people standing up for sure, yeah. Well, we do have a lot to cover today. By the way, don't do it like this. This is 3 sips. You need to do it in 1. But we've got a lot to cover today, so I guess we'll leave that until the Pulse party later this evening. All right, last one, and then I'll let you stay seated. Last one. Who's never seen Wicked before? Stand up if you've never seen Wicked before. Now, we thought this might happen. All right. Well, if you haven't seen Wicked before, or you need a bit of a refresher, it's a story about how things and people aren't always what they seem. Elphaba, the so-called Wicked Witch, is misunderstood, and Glinda is her polar opposite. But you know what? Together, they grow, they challenge each other, and they become something greater. And that's what we hope happens here at Pulse for all of you. Different roles, different companies, different backgrounds, all coming together with one shared goal: to learn, connect, and elevate each other. Now, on that point of connection, here at Pulse, the mark of a great new connection isn't a handshake, it's a fist bump. So go ahead, in time-honored Pulse tradition, turn to your neighbor and give them a warm Pulse-style welcome with a fist bump. And make sure you do it for the rest of the Pulse. But whether you've traveled across Dublin, across the European region, or across an ocean, which has been troubling for some, to be here, we've all met up here together at this point on this same customer journey. And today, we're going to talk about how that journey is evolving, what retention is going to look like in the agentic era. We'll show you what's possible in today's keynote, and then over the course of the sessions you'll attend, and in tomorrow's keynote, we'll show you how to make the magic real. You'll see teams, companies, and leaders talking about the amazing outcomes that they're delivering to their customer. And we'll learn from their tips, their best practices, the successes that they've had. Now, I get the pleasure of handing you over to our first speaker, who will come on the stage, and he's going to set the stage for what's possible in the agentic era. And just like many of you, he's here for the first time. Gainsight CEO Chuck Ganapathy is also a Pulse Europe first-timer, and we've all been encouraging him to jump in head first. So I know he's been on quite a journey, so I'm going to pop backstage and see if I can find him.
You know what I love about the people in customer success? They go wherever their customers need them, doing whatever it takes. So on my way to Pulse Europe this year, I thought, why not go full CSM and over-deliver? I decided it's time to do what every CSM does. Jump into the chaos with a smile.
Alors, une pipeline d'expansion? Nous atteignons de nouveaux sommets! Un peu cliché, non pas?
A więc, jakie są wskaźniki retencji?
Stawiamy duże stawki.
Come va la serie di video di onboarding?
Il
clienti li guardavano davvero.
Wie geht es mit der User Adoption?
Wunderbar. Sie trinken es aus.
¿Cómo va el compromiso de la comunidad?
Moviéndose rápido. Rápido, rápido.
GRR stabil, NRR intakt.
Da drüben! Sie sind in perfekter Harmonie!
So, we'll see you at Pulse tomorrow, yeah?
Tomorrow? No. Pulse is today, bud.
Busy day, is it?
Please welcome to the stage Gainsight CEO, Chuck Ganapathy.
Wow, I made it. Made it. Did you all enjoy the video of my epic European customer journey? I gotta say, my German was pretty terrible, wasn't it? You know, if you haven't figured this out already, that video was all AI generated. And all I had to do was take a few photos, record a clip of myself saying a few words in English, hand it over to my marketing team, and in a couple of weeks, they made that video. Now, last year at Pulse in Amsterdam, that would have been impossible. But this year, the rate at which AI is moving, possible. And you know, in some portions, you could tell it wasn't me, right? It's clearly AI generated. But just remember this. This is the worst it's ever going to be. And AI is moving so fast that it's incredible innovation that we're seeing happen right in front of us. Now, my favorite clip, of course, is this one, which didn't make the final cut, but I can tell you my kids are going to have a riot laughing at me, just me doing the Irish jig. Now, raise your hand if you've seen the Meta Ray-Ban glasses. Yeah, some of you have seen it. Okay, some of you have seen it. Others haven't. I'm going to walk over here and show you what they look like right here. And I'm going to show you a quick demo. So if I were to go to Germany to meet our customer SAP, all I have to do is put these glasses on. And when I look at someone speaking German, the AI in the glasses is going to pick up the language and is going to translate for me live in real time, and is going to speak to me through these bone conduction speakers right in my glasses and whisper right in my ear. In fact, I can show you right now. Hey, Meta, start live translation. Okay.
Starting live translation from German to English.
Now, you can't hear what I'm hearing. It's Meta AI talking to me. But you can see right over there, as I speak, it's translating live to German. Now, if let's say I invite one of my German-speaking colleagues and see how that conversation goes. Julian, there you are. Hey, Julian, how are you?
Hi, Chuck. Funktioniert diese Brille überhaupt?
Do these glasses work at all? Is that what you said? There you go. Right? Meta Ray-Bans right there. Thank you, Julian. This is just the start of what's possible. But let's take another example, driving. Now, as a father of 4 kids, my weekends are spent driving my kids from one sporting event, soccer, to tennis, to volleyball, and I'm sick of it. But now, we have autonomous vehicles. In San Francisco, we have the Waymo, for those of you that have been to San Francisco. But right here in Ireland, if you go to the Belfast Harbour, you have the Harlander bus service. It's a shuttle bus that drives itself autonomously. Now, if my Meta Ray-Ban glasses were all about augmenting my abilities as a human, this is about autonomous agents that are automating the drudgery out of my life. Now, this is not just happening in our personal lives, it's also happening in our professional lives. Think about the tech industry. What is the lifeblood of our industry? It's software development, it's coding, and it's completely transforming due to AI. Now, building an app used to take years, right, in the past. Anyone heard of vibe coding? Anybody tried it? Okay. Now, this dad right here was able to use a tool called Lovable and build a fun math game for his kids, and he became a hero. Your developers are using tools like Cursor and Windsurf to become 10x engineers. Agentic coding is completely democratizing software development. Now, that sounds pretty good, right? Like, what's the problem with that? Well, let me tell you what's happening. Your customers, just like that dad or your 10x engineers, can build their own solution instead of buying yours. Our friends from Sweden, Klarna, they actually did that. They got rid of their SaaS subscriptions and built their own CRM and built their own HR tool. That's scary. Now, it's not just your customers, but your competitors. Agentic competitors are popping up everywhere. Now, in fact, every category of SaaS application or software that might be represented in this audience, I can guarantee you that there's a Y Combinator startup in Silicon Valley right now that's agentically coding your nemesis. They are faster, cheaper, they're better looking, and they're coming after your customer base. So what are we to do? How do you convince your customers to buy your solution as opposed to build their own? Now, how do you deal with all of these competitors who are moving at 10x the pace that you are at 1/10 of the resources that you have? What's Alphabet? Just like Alphabet, what are we to do? We're sort of stuck between your internal fears and your external pressures. What's really happening is that software is getting commoditized. The technology moat that we thought we had, the IP that we thought we had, is no longer relevant. You know, Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, summed it up beautifully. He said, we're now entering the fast fashion era of SaaS. I mean, think about that for a second. If good enough meets fast and cheap, how long before your customers decide to switch out their closet? And in that moment is when you realize retention is not just important, it's existential. And we're already seeing this in the numbers. You know, we do this annual survey called the CS Index, where we survey about 500 companies, and we're about to publish this report in a couple of weeks, but I'm giving you a sneak peek of the data we're seeing already. 82% of companies surveyed are continuing or increasing their CS investment. 28% of you are reporting directly to the CEO, given the importance of customer success. 43% of CS teams own the renewal, and 68% of you are driving expansions as well. Now, that tells you that the importance of customer success is only going up. But you know, there's a problem. with our industry. And the problem is that the perception that it's very people-heavy. So what do? We take our best people and throw them on our best customers. And what ends up happening is we ignore the long tail. And when retention is existential, when every dollar matters, and when every customer matters, you can't do that anymore. You have to treat every customer like your best customer. Now, typically, what would you do? You'd say, well, I need more headcount. And typically, we would just scale headcount as a function of the ARR managed, right? Well, those days are long gone. We are being asked to do more for our customers. And we're being given less resources by our companies to do that. So what do? We need a new way. And I can tell you, the old playbooks are not going to work anymore. And the software industry has been about workflows for the last 20 years. And that was great. It was about helping humans do their jobs. But when agents are fundamentally transforming work itself, the workflow isn't the point anymore. The outcome is the product. I mean, it's like saying we go from selling gym memberships to actually selling fitness results. That transformation is huge. And we're seeing that transformation play out in industry after industry. And it's not going to happen overnight, but we're already seeing early examples of that. So take the transition in customer support. We're going from human agents triaging tickets to agents that are resolving customer questions before the ticket hits the queue. Take sales development. SDRs used to send out mass emails, and we're going from some spamming our customers to agents that are reaching out to our customers with a highly personalized email or phone call and booking meetings directly. In accounts receivable, rather than dialing for dollars or euros, agents are now automating cash collections. Now, this again isn't going to happen overnight. The transformation from workflow to outcomes is a big change, and it's not going to be easy. But the company that's done a master class in how to make that transformation from workflow to outcomes is none other than Dublin's own darling and a leader in agentic customer support, Intercom. So to talk about this transformation from workflow to outcomes, I'd love to invite the VP of Data Science and Research at Intercom, Karen Church. Karen, welcome on stage. Thank you for joining us.
It's great to be here, Chuck. Hello, Dublin.
Hello. Welcome to Pulse.
I'm so excited to be here. My first time at Pulse, and hopefully not my last.
Amazing, amazing. Well, let's talk about Intercom. And let's rewind back to November of 2022 when ChatGPT hit the market. You're watching this thing, answering technical questions flawlessly, and you're thinking, wow, this could be an extinction-level moment for Intercom, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The weekend ChatGPT launched sent shockwaves throughout Intercom. We had our exec and leadership team play with it. And honestly, within hours, we knew this was going to be the meteorite that was about to hit the support industry. So, this was going to change software forever. So we treated it like an extinction-level event. By the Monday, we had a plan. By March, we launched Finn, our AI agent for customer support. Out of the box, Finn could resolve about 25% of support conversations. And if we fast forward to today, Finn's in its third generation. It can now resolve some of the most complex support conversations across channels like voice. And we have a whole host of advanced insights and testing capabilities. And now our customer base get an average of about 66% resolutions, with some up at the 80 and 90%. And honestly, those gains have taken relentless experimentation and iteration. But the biggest transformation has happened inside Intercom. It's actually happened culturally. So we told the truth inside. We said, if we don't reinvent ourselves, someone else is going to do it. Teams completely reworked. So R&D teams were set a lofty goal of 2x your output using AI. Designers ship code in Intercom now. The roles are completely blurred across engineers, designers, researchers, and beyond. And everything, and I honestly mean everything, was up for reinvention. Roadmaps, principles, sacred cows, and that kind of urgency not only shaped the product that we've built, but it's also shaped who we've become as a company, as a culture.
Amazing. Well, you know, it's pretty easy to start with a shiny demo that gets us 80% of the way, but building a scalable customer service agent takes a lot more than that. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Sure, yeah. From day one, we built Fin as a product, so not just technical capability. So Fin was built for deployment at scale. It's self-servable, so you can install Fin in minutes and train it on your existing Help Center content. And for a lot of teams, that's actually enough. But for larger, more complex businesses, you know, across regions, lots of products, multiple languages, we often have to go deeper because deep context really matters in those situations. So for those cases, we've created a forward deployed model. So we have engineers, product managers, and data scientists who work in lockstep with customers and our customer-facing teams. And they are analyzing support conversations for those businesses. They are really trying to deeply understand those businesses' needs and the expectations and what great looks like there, the standard operating procedures. And what that allows them to do is figure out where Fin can actually drive the most value, where it can drive the most ROI for that business. And then we've taken all those kind of one-to-one learnings, and we've actually built out some scalable intelligent tooling for our CSM team in-house. So we have a thing called Cockpit. And so what this does is tell our CSMs whether this customer is ready for Fin and what their content is like. And it helps them prioritize accounts and actually guides them through deployment with Fin so that more of our customer base can benefit from those learnings. But probably the biggest learning here is that deployment is a transformation, not a point-in-time configuration. So the teams that get the most value out of Fin, they actually treat Fin like a teammate. They review it, they monitor it, they review its performance, they look to kind of improve it. It's always ongoing work, it's never done. And then the support teams themselves have completely transformed. So they're often doing higher leverage work. They've gone from users of software to orchestrators of AI systems, and that's required them to build a whole host of new muscles and skills and even behaviors.
That's amazing. If you think about Fin as a teammate, how do you price this?
We made a pretty bold move with pricing. Pricing historically has been Intercom's Achilles heel. We had a lot of angry and frustrated customers because our pricing wasn't always aligned to value. And so with Fin, we took the opportunity to go back to first principles. So we decided we wanted our pricing to be simple, transparent, and tied to outcomes. So basically, we charge per resolution. Customers only pay when Fin solves their customer problems. So it's directly tied to kind of value. Pretty risky move because it puts an awful lot of pressure on the product to perform, but the product performs. It was the right thing to do, and we were one of the first in markets to take that bet, and it's paid off.
Amazing. Well, if Fin is a teammate, you're also very concerned about the behavior of that teammate, whether it's their tone, their clarity, and how they communicate. Yeah. Well, tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, we've done a bunch of research here. We knew that trust depended on not only the outcomes that Fin helps our customers achieve, but also how Fin behaves. So we've explored AI agent behaviors and found there's these three kind of dimensions. The first is around relational behaviors. So this is, does the agent show empathy? Does it build kind of connection? The second is around competency. So does it work? Is it efficient? Does it know when to escalate to a human? And the third is around the interaction itself. So how does the agent manage things like flow and pacing? And so even with those things, though, trust doesn't just happen. It often requires a level of transparency and control. We hear time and time again that our customers need to understand why Fin does what it does when it gets it right, and also at the times when it gets it wrong. So we've built AI systems around that give visibility into why Fin does certain things. So we have an AI Insights product, and that gives visibility across conversations so our customers can optimize Fin. And then there's also safe environments and playgrounds for folks to experiment so that they never risk the live experience. The thing we talk a lot about inside Intercom is seeing is believing. So the moment a customer sees Fin behave in their context, in their environment, with their customers, solving their problems, that's often when trust clicks.
Amazing. So when you talk to your customers, where do humans fit into that equation?
There's still roles for humans, but we definitely ask ourselves the hard question, which is, assume AI can do everything, and then look for where humans are truly indispensable. We've existed since 2011, so we also, ask ourselves the hard question, which is, if we were an AI-first startup, unburdened by our legacy, what would we do? Because that's often the path that we need to pursue. I think we have to be willing to change everything here. So we really focus on the outcomes that we're driving. We focus on where humans can add unique value. So these are typically things around creativity and judgment and deep partnership. And then we focus on designing AI experiences that scale those uniquely human moments. And we've been doing this for a couple of years, but we're also conscious that we are still very early. No one knows what's going to happen. No one knows what really good looks like here. So it's taken a lot of experimentation. But yeah, I think we're on a
We're
good
living
path.
in an interesting world,
Yeah,
aren't we?
We are indeed.
Any final words of advice for our audience?
Yeah, the thing I would say, and I remind my team and myself of this all the time, is this is arguably the most exciting moment in technology, certainly in my lifetime, maybe in any of our lifetimes. The opportunities here are endless. And yes, there's loads of ambiguity, and yes, there's loads of uncertainty, and that can be scary. But think about the opportunities for your customers, for your business, for your teams, and even for your own growth and careers. The opportunities are ample, so I would just really lean in and go for it. Who knows what's possible?
Amazing. Thank you so much, Karen.
Thanks, Chuck. Great to be here. Thanks, folks.
Karen Church from Intercom. There just isn't a better case study of an at-scale SaaS company that has gone through this transformation from workflow to outcomes than Intercom. Huge congratulations, huge kudos to the team at Intercom. And it's inspiring all of us. Every software company should be thinking about this change from workflow to outcomes. It's no longer that outcomes is a word that CS teams only care about. It's become a board-level topic. And when it's that important, we have to ask ourselves, what does this mean for customer success? What do agents do that can help us in customer success and move into the agentic era? So think about and imagine if your CSMs didn't have to handhold customers, but instead you could have agents that drive adoption. Imagine if, instead of prepping for QBRs, you have agents that go build the decks, do the customer outreach, and secure the renewal. Or humans, passing upsell and cross-sell leads to sales and being tossed back and forth. Instead, what if you could have agents that identify and surface the right opportunities for expansion and deliver those outcomes? Now, that is a very, very big transformation. And that's the same transformation and journey that we're on here at Gainsight. We are moving from a software as a service company to a retention as a service company, from SaaS to RaaS. With that, we can now start delivering outcomes like adoption, renewals, and expansions. And that starts to allow us to treat every customer like our best customer. Not just in our high-touch segment, but every customer in the long tail of your customers that are typically ignored. And you can do that without dramatically increasing your spend. Now, you're probably asking yourself, wait, what's he saying? Is he saying that we don't need humans in customer success anymore and agents are going to do everything? Well, nothing could be farther from the reality. Now, let's go back to our personal life example. Now, if agents are doing the things that we don't want to deal with, and they're allowing us to focus on things that are truly and uniquely human, that's a very different experience. Now, think about the last time you went to a barista, or I go to my local coffee shop, the barista knows my name and knows my favorite drink. And that's a feeling you can't replace with agents. Now, sometimes I don't want to deal with people. I just want to self-serve and be able to digitally engage. Think about using Spotify. I love Spotify, and I love the in-app nudges that I get that helps me discover new music. Or my daughter that uses Khan Academy to learn math. Or my son, who is now applying to colleges, he's in high school, applying to colleges, and he uses Reddit forums to connect with other students to learn about that process. And then there are agents, autonomous agents that are augmenting our human capacity, just like the Ray-Ban Meta glasses I showed you earlier. Or autonomous agents that are just removing the drudgery from our lives. That is the magic of humans, digital, and agents working together to deliver the outcomes that I care about, that we care about as humans. This is also the future of retention in the agentic era. Humans, digital, and agents working together to drive the outcomes for our customers so we can treat every customer like our best customer. Letting humans do what they do best, what CSMs do best. Build relationships, be strategic advisors to our customers, delivering value. And then being able to scale that engagement through a digital strategy, whether it's inside your product, in your academy, or through community forums, so your community engagement. Or through your agents, autonomous agents that help your CS teams better serve your high-touch customers, augmenting their abilities. Or autonomous agents that are letting you do things that you just could not do before, like serving the long tail. And that's the transformation we are so excited about. And our goal at Gainsight is to bring that vision to reality. Our core CS product is the foundation of human-led engagement. Our PX, our skill jar, and our community products help you scale your digital strategy. Staircase is our augmentation agent that helps your CS teams by delivering them insights and next best actions. And Atlas, finally, is our autonomous agent that's helping drive adoption and drive renewals and much, much more in the long tail. Now, let's talk about CS for a second, which is the foundation of what we do. Now, we at Gainsight, we're fortunate enough to be part of the category definition of customer success. And we don't rest on our laurels. We've been continuously innovating. And just last month, we were so fortunate to be recognized as a leader by the Forrester, in the Forrester Wave for this year. And just last week, Gartner recognized us as the #1 leader in the Gartner Magic Quadrant for Customer Success Platform, second year in a row. But I have to say, this innovation and this recognition is not just for Gainsight. It's all of you. It's the Pulse community that is co-innovating with us. You have pushed us, you have challenged us, you have inspired us to build the features you need to drive the outcomes your customers want. So congratulations to all of you, and thank you. Okay, we've talked about a lot. We have talked about retention being existential in the agentic era. We've talked about how it is imperative now to treat every customer like your best customer, and the path to doing so is with humans, digital, and agents working together to deliver retention as a service. To talk about our digital strategy, I'd like to welcome Ali Biggs, our VP of Marketing, to talk to you about how our PX, our skill jar, and our community forums help us deliver retention as a service. Ali, welcome.
Let's do it. Nice hand up. All right, good morning, everyone. Thank you. I'm very excited to be here on the Pulse stage, my first time. Some of you may be surprised that an Irish accent didn't come out of my mouth, but I'm from our San Francisco contingent of the company, and I was clearly going for Elphaba today. I was told backstage I may have accidentally achieved Leprechaun as well. But either is on brand for today here at Pulse in Dublin. So as Chuck shared, I am here to talk about your digital strategy and how this is changing in the world of AI. We just heard Chuck talking a lot about how you can treat all of your customers like your best customer. This is obviously difficult to do if you have hundreds or even thousands. Because unlike Glinda, who we'll meet in a little bit, none of us have a magic wand, unfortunately. But the companies that are getting retention right, they're not waiting for magic. They are thinking about how they can deliver success at scale without also scaling spend. And they're doing it through digital programs like customer communities, product education, and in-app experiences. Chuck referenced our 2025 CS Index, which is hot off the press, and it proved just this. So the companies who are increasing investments in customer success are primarily investing in AI technology and digital programs. So digital success isn't just here to stay. It's the default strategy for how all of us interact with our customers. But let's acknowledge a very obvious fact, that the way that our customers are looking for information and answers is shifting quickly. In fact, this is true for all of us just as humans looking for information in the world. Increasingly, they're not turning directly to your perfectly curated digital content. They are going to ChatGPT or Gemini or many other services for the answers first. And really, why wouldn't they, right? It feels fast, it's personal, it seems to know everything, even when it is wildly inaccurate and presents that information as fact. So it's really fair to ask sort of existential question of, is it worth building these digital programs at all? And it's a really fair question, given that data shows that 60% of searches now end without a click, so they never even end up on your content. And 77% on mobile never click. And so the whole ecosystem is shifting. But the reality is that if you think that AI is going to replace your community, your help center, make those things obsolete, it absolutely is not true. Because AI, as we're coming to learn, is only as good as the data that it's trained on. So right now, the internet is drowning in what's being called AI slop, which is low-quality, generic content that's created for volume versus value. AI slop is basically the new spam. And as a marketer, I apologize. The digital programs that your teams have all been building over the last few years, however, are the complete opposite of slop, right? They're really intentionally built on data around customer needs, actions, usage. And so that's absolutely still the core of your program. Because when you think about it, where does your most specific, trusted, and valuable product information live? It's in your community discussions, in your academy content, in your Help Center articles. So AI is not a threat to communities and academies. It actually depends on them. This is why OpenAI now partners with Reddit, and why Google's Gemini is also now trained on YouTube videos. These companies have come to realize that content created by real people, real live humans, is relatable, it's insightful, and it's full of real-world detail. So how do we adapt in a world where AI depends on our content? Well, we do have to reset our default settings for digital. I'm about to get a little deep here, and then we'll kind of elevate back out. But first, let's talk a little bit about measurement. So you can no longer point to traffic as the main indicator of success for your digital programs, because AI is cannibalizing that traffic, as we just touched on. We have to stop measuring things like page views and course completions, and start measuring very specifically how your digital programs are driving adoption, retention, and customer growth. Second, you have to optimize for those LLMs that we've been talking so much about. And you have to invest in AEO, which is also known as answer engine optimization. Admittedly, the marketers got a little lazy on that one, just a one-word swap out. But what this means is that you need to make your community and education content as accessible as possible. So it needs to be structured and trustworthy so that AI can understand it and ultimately cite it for your customers that are going there first for answers. So that means you need to make your sites crawlable, your content parsable, your schema clear, and your metadata really rich. No problem. super easy. And finally, we have to deeply cross-pollinate our digital experiences. So you need to bring community conversations into your academy. You need learning moments in your product, and you need to surface courses or helpful threads right in your product or help center. And for the love of Guinness, please, please, please make it all one login, which is something I'll talk about in just a moment. Because let's not forget what AI cannot do, and hopefully will never be able to do. It can't share a personal story. It can't share the nuance of a lived experience or show empathy in a moment of real challenge. But communities do this every single day. So in a world of AI slop, content generated by real live humans is the differentiator. Now, Chuck started to talk about this earlier. Those same human teams that have long been the solution to helping customers when they get stuck, to help them get unstuck by whatever means necessary. When it comes to digital programs, we now need a way to meet our customers where they already are and get the right content to them versus throwing humans at the problem. So this is whether your customers are in your product asking a question or if they're going straight to ChatGPT. But there is a problem, one that I can even admit to myself. We're often hiding a lot of really great content behind our org chart. And what I mean by that is we have customer success teams, support teams, product marketing teams that are all creating content for customers and distributing it through the channels that they individually own. And this really frustrates customers, right? We've all been on the tail end of this, where you receive an email trying to pitch you a product that you've already bought, or you receive a survey about a feature that's like not even in your plan, right? The reality is that when everyone owns retention, it means that no one owns retention. And we want to help you to do better. So we've been spending a lot of time lately here at Gainsight thinking about this exact problem. And we believe that the only way that digital customer success really works is by taking what we've been talking about as an ecosystem approach. Because your customers now expect to find answers anywhere and everywhere. They expect to find it from you through structured learning, from their peers through organic conversations, and in the flow of their work right inside of your product. It's no longer enough to have a great academy or really engaged community or timely in-app messages. You have to have this digital ecosystem that connects all of it so that you can treat every single customer like a segment of one. But what's the difference, though, between having all of these individual channels and a true ecosystem? On click. The first thing is this concept of connected content, right? Content is synced across every experience. A customer should be able to go from a course to a community thread to trying out your product, trying out a feature in your product without ever hitting a dead end, without switching tabs or without having to log in multiple times. The second is data. Product and customer data has to flow into one system. Now, whether that's your CS platform, your CRM, or a data warehouse, you just need that data in one place so that you can always know what your customer is doing and which content is most relevant to them. And when you put those two things together, you've now built a foundation for a team of agents that can come in and work quietly to deliver the content to the right customer at the right time. Now, a lot of you may be thinking, hey, it's okay, I've been building a lot of this in recent years, and that is very, very true for a lot of you. Many of you have cobbled together navigation that almost looks the same between your community and your academy, or maybe you've embedded a few training videos or set alerts when customers fall behind on training, and all of that has been really important and great progress. But what we're building here at Gainsight now is about going from hacks and workarounds to making this an easy, true ecosystem, one that is deeply connected, powered by customer data, and scaled with a team of agents. Because as Chuck said earlier, you're not just buying software anymore, you're hiring it to do a job and to drive outcomes, just like you would hire an employee. A really strong digital strategy drives a number of outcomes, including higher adoption, which leads to lower attrition, more pipeline from your advocates, which leads to larger deal sizes. It's all right there for the taking. Now, I know that seeing is believing, and so I'm about to stop talking at you, and we're about to start showing you some of the products that are already live in our product and some that are coming soon. Because some of these are coming soon, I do have to flash our obligatory safe harbor statement, which says exactly what I just said, but in far more words and legalese. But with that, I'm very excited to welcome to the stage Yora Stephen to take us through a demo of our product.
Thank you, Ellie. Good morning, everybody. So before we start the demo, I want to set some magical context. So today we will talk about WizWhite technologies. And WizWhite, just like many of you, is a customer of Gainsight. We also have OS Enterprises, which is actually a customer of WizWhite. So they're making use of the WizWhite product. And for OS Enterprises, we have, of course, Glinda, our spell engineer, working. So let's have a look. Here you see the WizWhite product. Glinda is working on her spells. Actually, today, she wants to import her spells from her CRM into the WizWhite product. But she gets stuck. Luckily, Gainsight AI is there to help. And of course, Glinda is making use of that. She's opening our in-app hub. And in the in-app hub, she has everything what she needs to help herself, to get inspiration, and to connect with others. It starts with an AI-powered search, and you have courses, community, groups, events, knowledge base integrated. She now wants to ask a question, right? So she's asking about her CRM, about the CRM import. The AI search is making use of all WizWhite's resources, information, documentation, and is generating an answer. This answer is already spot on, but she's also inspired to learn more. So she's checking out the sources that are used for this answer. And she likes the community post. So she's going there, and with that, navigating out of the WizWhite app to the community, which is part of the WizWhite website. Using her WizWhite account, she immediately is logged in, and with that account, she can engage on the community, on the academy, and much more. So she loves this content, and she's checking it out, seeing a verified answer by the community, many comments below it. It's a really engaged community. And with that, she gets inspired and wants to discover even more. So she's now going to the homepage of WizWhite. Again, you have the AI search there on top, but also because we exactly know who Glinda is, right? She's a spell engineer working for OS Enterprise. We know where she is in the journey. We know her previous engagement behavior. We can really use all that information to have a hyper-personalized experience and giving her the right recommendations. So as you can see on top, we're recommending her to do a course about importing spells to her CRM. So she's going to this course. She's seeing that OS Enterprise purchased this course for her, and she's also checking out some community content related to that. Well, so she's up for doing this course, and she's starting the course. She's checking out the content, great videos. She can even listen to a podcast or read about it. But you also have the AI tutor over there offering help. If she needs more context or things explained in a different way, which is more understandable for her. And with that, she now feels, well, that she knows quite a lot about importing spells, and she's going to take a quiz. She nails the first question, but actually the second one is still a bit difficult. And the AI tutor is noticing that and offering proactive help, explaining it in a different way. And with that help, she's going to the next quiz question and nailing it. And of course, this is a bit simplified. Normally a course and certification takes a bit longer, but she's now certified, and she can proudly share that on LinkedIn, on the community, or with her colleagues. So she really loves this experience and is providing a great rating using our new course rating feature, giving it 5 stars. And again, the AI tutor is there as her buddy, recommending next steps, in this case, to join a group. This group is managed by all other customers of WizWide, other wizards, where they are connecting with each other, organizing events, and where a lot of discussion is happening. Glinda loves this and is now also sharing her own experience. This post is welcomed by the group and rewarded with a lot of emojis and comments. So what a great way where you start with getting stuck in the product, learning more about how to do your job better, and engaging with the community. So she's not only now giving this content back to the community to be used over here in this channel, but this is also exactly the human, authentic content that you need for AI assistants, such as ChatGPT. So when another customer of WizWide is checking out ChatGPT for answers, exactly this content, again, is then used to provide that answer. So how cool is that? So let's review. From this demo, the AI search, which we showed you today, will be general available this quarter. We have AI moderation released last quarter, which is taking the heavy load from your moderators, understanding your code of contact, and really moderating like a human, understanding all of the context, checking out the images, visiting links, making it much easier. We showed you a unified experience between Academy and Community, which is now available for early access, making use of one common navigation, one login, Academy widgets on your community homepage. So please go to your CSM or the booth to ask for early access. For SkillJar, we have released a new course ratings feature, and the AI tutor is also available in early access. And last but not least, we have released a new in-app hub feature, a new version of what we previously called KCBot, with an entirely new design, new integrations, and a rich experience. So now, let's talk about how this is being used in practice. And for that, I would like to invite Ali back to stage together with Jill Glynn from LinkedIn.
All right, hello everyone. I'm back and I am joined, as mentioned, by Jill Glynn, who runs Scaled Engagement at LinkedIn. So we're gonna get right into it. Jill, I would love it if you just kick things off by sharing a bit more about your role and what Scaled Engagement means in practice.
Absolutely. So hi everyone, super excited to be here. As Ali mentioned, I'm Jill, I'm from LinkedIn. I lead a team of Scaled Engagement folks. We have everyone from instructional designers, training managers, customer engagement managers, and they all come together to deliver consistent, high-quality customer education that scales. We run onboarding and cohort programs, and we produce agile learning, short-form videos, live training, and community moderation, all in service of ensuring that our customers feel empowered to do their best work. Our goal is simple: make every touch point feel personal while supporting tens of thousands of customers every single quarter. Now, in order to do this, we're mapped by market. So we look at our regional segments and we look at the data and we make sure that while we're thinking about scale, that we're also creating a unique experience for these individual member groups within our ecosystem. And when I talk about our ecosystem, since I'm at Pulse, I feel like it is only natural, Ali, for me to talk a little bit about how we run that ecosystem. So we have a lot of folks from LinkedIn here in the audience today. And I do have to say, we are longtime listeners, first-time callers, big fans over here. we run on Gainsight as well as SkillJar. So my partners in digital CS, they use Journey Orchestrator for all of the scaled outreach. And then on the customer learning and community side, we use the SkillJar platform for all of our academy work. And then the community platform is our hub for customer engagement. So at a high level, we aim for digital-first enablement backed by human expertise. That helps customers get value fast and also frees our humans, our individuals, to have conversations with our customers in the moments that matter most.
Thank you, Jill. Now, you were telling me about how your team recently shifted to a community-first approach to customer education. So can you tell us a bit about what prompted that shift and how it's been leading to impact so far?
Yeah, absolutely. So this has been a really exciting time for LinkedIn, and I'm sure so many SaaS companies. And I'll tell you how this shift started for us. We launched our first agentic product just this year. So the product is LinkedIn Hiring Assistant. We started chartering with our customers about 12 months ago, and we were chartering almost as a co-build, so building together, and we found that with the product feedback, we were able to iterate quickly. The customers were seeing value, and we realized this thing could actually scale. Losing my voice already.
Also, young children, also
young
residual
children,
sickness,
lag,
always
losing my voice
in the
earlier
background.
in the day. But no, we realized that this thing could really scale quickly, and we needed to be prepared for that. So we sat down with our partners, not in a silo, but we had folks from marketing, sales, the whole gamut come together, and we said, if we are launching our most futuristic product, a product that is seamless for our customers, we need to look at our own onboarding experience and make sure that this is just as futuristic and seamless for our customers. So we decided that we would build through a few guiding principles. So first, customers feel seen and guided from the very first moment. Second, customers trust other customers. So everything we do should feel easy and authentic for our customers. And third, success should be felt early and often, and visibly. These principles pushed us to design with empathy, elevate real customer voices, and highlight meaningful wins early. As we launched more AI features, we also saw customers were telling us that they wanted to learn directly from each other. They wanted really specific use cases. They wanted to get into the product, break the product, and make the product work for them. So this whole culmination, our principles, the learnings, what we were hearing, that's what made us move to our community-first strategy. Now, customers start in the community. They explore learning paths by user persona. They also explore learning paths by use cases. They have the opportunity right out of the gate to ask questions, share wins, learn directly from peers. It's just this really engaging site rather than a static academy. And I will share too that so far the impact has been clear. We've seen deeper engagement, more return visits, and a really strong, consistent pattern. Customers who engage with 2 or more digital experiences are more likely to be successful. And we define success in a very specific way. So we actually look at the full utilization funnel. It starts at the very top from when someone activates their seat. So they activate their seat, then there's a series of steps or actions that we hope they would take in the product. But it doesn't stop there. The last step is, are these actions leading to the results that our customers are aiming for? So that's a success funnel. So we're tracking whether customers see value, not just whether they're taking the prescribed actions we want them to take. All of this to say, so far, early successes and community has truly become the front door to learning. So this has been a big shift for us. It's the place to self-serve help, connect with peers, and join live sessions. And because of this success, we're now actually scaling this community-first approach to all of our products and across all of our product suites. So really excited for what's to come here.
I love it. Thank you so much, Jill. One last question.
Of course.
When we were talking ahead of this session, you mentioned that your programs are digital first, but not digital only. This is something we're talking a lot about throughout the next 2 days. So I was hoping you could close us out with how you balance automation and a human touch.
Yes, happy to close out on this note, because this is something that we think about constantly, we talk about constantly. And I think what it comes down to is while automation gives us scale, connection builds trust. So our approach is really customization at scale. We meet our customers where they are, whether it's in the product, in their inboxes, or in the community. And with AI-driven prescriptive content, we aim to serve them up the most relevant materials to help them be successful. So for example, if a customer is doing really well, we serve them up content that will take them one step further. If a customer is stuck, in that very moment, we will serve them content that will help them get unstuck so they can easily get back on the path to success. And while I talk about this, I want to mention that while a lot of this is in the product, a lot of this is self-service, there's always, and this is really important to us, there's always a human path for deeper engagement. And that comes to life through our live onboarding sessions, our live expert-led sessions, and of course, the community sessions and Q&As, just like the one that we're partnering on today. So kind of closing thought for this is digital first doesn't replace people. It frees our people for the more high-value conversations where a human can't be replaced, where the human is critical. And the balance between automation, scaled foundations, and people is more important than ever right now. So what I've found as we're launching our agentic product, as we're working with AI features, everything is moving so quickly. What's become more important than ever internally at LinkedIn is the relationship between sales, customer success, and scale. So now as we look at the flywheel of customer success, I want you all to know that that flywheel falls apart if we don't have scale. We are a critical part of the equation. So now is a time for us to really embrace that and take advantage of this moment in time. Our goal is to make customer success feel personal and frictionless so customers can learn, connect, and succeed in the way that fits them best. We've earned a seat at the table, so let's take the seat at the table and really help, not just be another support function, but really be a growth driver and a growth enabler.
Jill, thank you so much for sharing your story. Please join me in thanking Jill for being here on stage.
Of course.
I, too, am about to step off stage, but before I do, so far we've covered the fact that human and digital programs together build the foundation for scale. They create the structure, data, and consistency that make it possible for agents to then step in and have big impact by spotting risks, by drafting next steps, and by driving outcomes across every customer. And so to show you how that comes to life, please welcome Ori Entis to the stage.
Thank you. All right, Dublin. Thank you, Ali. Stand up if you had a chance to go to Temple Bar District last night. No one. Okay, stand up if you plan to go tonight. No one. So nobody came to party? Okay. All right. Last year I was here at Pulse talking about the future of customer success and AI and introduced our newest product at the time, Staircase. Staircase is an agent that augments your human teams. You can think of it as those glasses that Chuck spoke about. Imagine you had a pair of glasses that told you what signals to pay attention to and what steps to take next. Imagine you had an assistant, an agent, that went with you to every meeting, sat on every call, read every email, and gave you that context you need in order to better engage with your customers. Sounds pretty good, huh? All right, but unlike in the consumer space, it's not giving you directions on a map. It's actually telling you when a stakeholder is not engaged or when they change their role, without you having to go into your email and check when you sent that last email, or spending hours on LinkedIn trying to figure out if they changed their job. It can also help you understand if you're multi-threaded or single-threaded with your customer. It can do that without having to rely on a gut feeling of you or your team, but it's based on data and analysis. And when it comes to health, it can help you understand if you're having a dip right now or a drop in health due to some negative sentiment or some risk that's happening with your customer base. And last but not least, when it comes to expansion, Staircase can basically surface those insights and help you understand if your customer is ready for expansion. Do they have a budget? Do you have the right kind of engagement with the executive sponsor? So this is not limited to the account level. A lot of you out there are dealing with several accounts, and you might want to see trends across accounts. So Staircase can actually analyze the entire communication of your company, giving you insights across segments, groups of customers, and so on. So you can see, for example, which topics are trending and what is the segment correlated with them. You can also see where your team is spending time. Are they overspending? Are they underspending their time? And you can then adjust accordingly. And you could see sentiment and health trends across groups of customers. But Staircase is actually better experienced than talked about, so I'm going to stop talking and share with you right now what agent augmentation looks like. For that, I'm going to step into a role you heard earlier from Joris. I'll be the VP of CS of WizWide Technologies, and we have one of our customers, Oz Enterprises, that we're going to engage with. So with that, we're going to start the demo, and I am receiving a Slack notification on my mobile. Great, and as you can see, this notification is telling me that there is an opportunity for expansion here. Now, Staircase detected from the conversation that there is an opportunity to sell a new product or expand this customer account. But since I'm managing hundreds of accounts, I need to maybe scroll up a little bit and see some history of this with this account. And I can see that about 3 months ago, we had a negative interaction with this customer during the onboarding. But since then, things seem to be improving. So we're in a pretty good place. I can also ask Staircase within Slack what's going on with this account, and also get some basic information. They've been a customer for about 11 months. They're a sizable customer. Great. There's some really good ingredients here. I'm going to actually transition from my mobile into the application in order to see a little bit more detail and dive deeper. When I log in, I see on the account level in the overview, I can see a crisp summary of all the interactions. So Staircase is summarizing in real time emails, Slack channels, calls, tickets, and giving you this clear analysis that you can see in the summary. We're also going to provide you these KPIs. How is health trending, engagement, product usage, sentiment, and so on and so forth. So within seconds, you have a clear understanding of the account. I can also see various points on the life cycle, those critical moments, that negative or positive, that Staircase kind of decided to demonstrate to me. And that email that triggered that Slack notification that I got, where Glenda is expressing interest in Grimory, our new product that we're launching. Now, some of you might notice that there is some PII that is masked out there. That is for privacy and security issues. So if you have customers that are very sensitive, we can do that as well. OK, looks like we're in a good shape here to do some expansion motion, but I do want to make sure that I have the right relationships in place. So for that, I'm going to go into the Stakeholder tab and understand who from my team, my company, is actually interacting with a customer. And I can see the CSM, I can see myself, and several others. OK, looks like we have some good engagement. I can also ask Staircase or look into the health scores, into the heat map, in order to understand if we have the right relationships in place. Now, we need to have a relationship with a champion. We need to have a relationship with a budget owner or a decision maker. And it looks like between Felix and myself, we're covering that. Okay, feeling better and better about this expansion motion. So now I'm ready to go into the newest feature in Staircase, which is our expansion analyst. This is an agent that is looking through historical data and extracting those signals that we know can drive expansion, and then applying them to each and one of your customers. And in this case, we're getting a list of opportunities, and for each opportunity, we're gonna have a clear list of actions or next steps. And as we log in, you can see that there's an action plan here with clear steps that you or your team can engage. So this is not only a signal, but it's actually an action plan. All right, I think we can sell Grimoire. But now I have an idea that perhaps this could be a more widespread initiative across the organization. Perhaps I can sell it to more customers. I need to check if any other customers are showing interest. So from here, I'm going to switch into the topic analysis. Topic analysis is analyzing all the different conversations with all my customers. And surprise, Grimoire is actually one of the top topics right there, meaning there's a lot of conversations about it. And it's in green, meaning that the sentiment around this topic is positive. Okay, it might be an interesting motion here, but I do need to make sure my team has capacity and time. Like many of your teams, our team is stretched, it's working very hard. So I need to make sure that they have the time to engage in this new initiative. So I'm gonna go into yet one more place in Staircase, and I'm gonna go into the team effort. Where the team effort, I can see for each account how much time we're spending on that. Perhaps we're over-serving or under-serving, and I can then adjust the team to create that capacity. Fantastic. So we have to summarize, we have seen how from a Slack notification, we can do a cross-sell or upsell motion in a customer and also drive an initiative across several different accounts. That's the magic of Staircase. Now, let's move on. So the good news is that many of the features that I just talked about, especially the expansion analyst, are available now, and I encourage you to go to the Pulse booth and learn more about this. I'm also happy to share that we've integrated Staircase deeply into the CS core product so that you can leverage all those insights and capabilities from the CS product so you can actually manage your operation from one place and get that true 360 view of your customer base. Now, if you are a Staircase and CS customer, not only do you get those insights, but Staircase can actually trigger CTAs in the CS platform that then you can actually have humans or automation like JO or agents take those different CTAs and act on them. These are exciting times. Everyone's talking about AI. A lot of you are building, experimenting with AI and agents. And we understand that you probably want to enrich the data that you have with the data and insights in Gainsight. So we'll be launching very soon MCP capabilities so that you can access the deep insights and data from Gainsight within Gemini, Claude, or ChatGPT, or agents that you're building. Last year, I stood here on stage and talked about Staircase for the first time, and we've seen incredible excitement and energy around it. And we continue to develop Staircase's security and privacy, both on the certification side, on the PII safeguards that you saw, and we launched an EMEA data center in Germany this past July, and we are well on our way to achieve Worker Council certification. We believe in that foundation of privacy and security heavily, and we continue to invest in it. In fact, in order to share with you more about this, I'm happy to invite on stage a EMEA-based cybersecurity company, Silverfort. Shani is going to join us to talk about how they're using Staircase in their CS day-to-day practice. Shani, welcome on stage. Great to see you.
Hi, thank you.
All right, Shani, welcome. Is this your first time in Dublin?
No, actually, I visited Dublin in the past already. And you know, last time I was here, I learned a really nice fun fact that I'm more than happy to share with you.
Yeah, let's hear.
So, did you know that the Guinness Book of Records was actually invented here in Dublin.
Well, now that you say it, makes sense.
I didn't know about it.
Okay. So tell me about that. How's your this visit so far?
It's been great. And I won't tell you the story about the Book of Records, but we can literally hear later on. We have the party in the Guinness warehouse, so we will probably hear the story there.
That's right. We have an exciting party tonight. Great. So let's dive into it. So you've been a Staircase customer for a while now. Please share with the audience, how has the usage of Staircase changed the CS operations and practice on a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, so since we've adopted Staircase, there's been many changes, but I think the biggest one is that our CSMs are much more proactive now. And the main reason is that Staircase has become kind of our trusted advisor. I would even say, a tool that basically gives us insights we can really use. And one great example is that it actually increased our ability to identify accounts at risk by over 40%. And we've also seen our upsell opportunities and general expansion pipeline went up significantly. And I can tell you, as an ops person, I can really see how this changed the way we operate. CSMs are much more proactive. They understand the business, they act quickly, and they drive value we can really measure.
Fantastic. So sometimes the use of AI actually is a change management catalyst. Tell me for a minute, you said trusted advisor. What exactly does that mean in the context of CS?
Yeah. Well, when I say trusted advisor, I basically mean it can see things that we just can't. So let me give you an example. At Silverford, probably like most of the companies here, we have the sales team and we have the CS. When a new customer comes in, there's a handover between the teams. Staircase kind of sits in the middle and helps us spot things that might get lost in the process. So a great example is that a few weeks ago, it actually flagged a sales commitment that wasn't shared during the handover, and the CSM was not even aware about it. In this case, the customer expected us to deliver 3 main features for them so they can start and see value as fast as possible. And without Staircase flagging this, the CSM would have never known about it, and the customer probably would have churned. And that's the power of Staircase. By combining different data sources together with sentiment, it actually reveals a picture we couldn't have seen otherwise.
Fantastic. So in a company, we have different teams. We have CS, sales, product, so on and so forth. How is Staircase used beyond the CS team?
So I'm very happy and proud to share that the entire company uses Staircase, definitely not just the CS. What we did was extend it to different team members so anyone can use it as they need. Product, for example, uses it to get some feedback on features we just released, or to get some better understanding on customer future plans in terms of adoption and retention. We've also integrated Staircase AI Summary into Salesforce. So basically, anyone from a sales rep to an executive can open an account page and get a clear picture on customer health. And I can really say that now we're in a place that we've finally made that everyone can see the same data points. Everyone is on the same page. And we've actually put the customer at the center of the business.
Love it. That's actually a really big value, right? The fact that everyone can see what's happening with the customer without having to waste time, sharing information and get biases. All right, last question. You talked about Salesforce. I mean, I'm sure you have many SaaS tools, and you do, okay. So how does Staircase fit into this, to this ecosystem that you have in the company?
Yeah. So we have Salesforce, and we have our CS platform that basically cover the customer lifecycle. Staircase is our AI layer that sits on top of them and gives us insights based on segmentation and sentiment. These insights are later on shared on Slack with the relevant stakeholders. So we've kind of created a combination of 3 layers that gives us the full picture of the company. And Ori, there's always the discussion about whether we should purchase a new tool or maybe we should develop something internally. But I can tell you now that with the right data sources, we're not just managing customers. We're driving a real impact. We've increased retention, we've reduced churn, and the overall customer satisfaction went significantly up. So thank you for that.
Thank you. That's fantastic. Thank you, Shani.
Thank you, Ori.
All right. So you heard from Shani. This is not magic, Wizard of Oz magic. This is not the future. It's here today, and you can use it already. But in some ways, the future is here. It's intelligent, it's agentic, it's augmented. A lot of words there. But you can do that today, and we are actually increasing capabilities and developing agents that not only augment, but actually can do work for you. In order to tell you more about that, I'm excited to bring on stage Jason from our Atlas team.
Thanks, Ori. Hey, good morning, everybody. I don't know about you, but this has been awesome, but you want to stand up for a minute? Go ahead, stand up. Shake those arms around. Let's make it kind of awkward, right? Say hi to your neighbors. Get the willies out. Everyone feel better? Yeah? Feel better? Okay. Okay, let's get started again. Everybody feel good? Yeah? Okay, awesome. We'll bring some coffee in later. So my name is Jason Hirsch, and I'm really happy to be here today. And this is actually going to be pretty hard to follow because those are some amazing demos. It's pretty cool to see what you can do when you start mixing together these human and digital motions. It's really cool for me. I'm really enjoying watching this so far. Hopefully I can follow Ori and do some justice. And with these human and digital motions, we're actually getting better and better every single year. The customer journey is getting easier because of the technology that we have access to. But as we all know, even the best people, we have the best tools, we have the same problem, right? We have not enough time, too many customers. Who has a long tail, right? A lot of customers, it's especially hard in that long tail. So what are your options? You're backstage at Oz, right? And what are you doing? You're pulling all the levers and trying to make it look easy. That's your option, right? Or you don't have a chance to talk to your long tail customers. Now, many of the times we're actually stuck in that 80-20 that Chuck talked about. So how do you break out of that 80-20? How about this? What if you could take all of the hard work that your human CSMs have been working on for years, right? From getting value to onboarding to adoption, and you have all those amazing playbooks. However, you just can't realistically assign CSMs to those long tail accounts. That is what autonomous agents unlock. Now with these agents, they are not just nudging your CSMs. They're not just surfacing risks. It's kind of like those self-driving cars, right? They're actually doing the work for you instead of helping and augmenting, which is great, but that's really the really interesting part of these agents is that they can actually do the work for you. It's really similar to those self-driving cars, where they're driving around Ireland. Same thing with the agents. They're driving around helping your customers. Now, CSMs have been perfecting the playbooks that you've been working on for years, right? They all focus on these high-touch accounts. So the idea is, what if you can take all of those high-touch account playbooks that your CSMs have perfected and now apply them towards agents? Who went to Pulse in US? Pulse US? Yep, okay, we got some people there. So in Pulse US in May, we actually announced our agents, our agentic layer we call Atlas. And what that's going to help you do is basically scale your CSM teams through autonomy. Again, these agents are doing the work instead of helping the CSMs do the work. It's really designed to help the agents reach those customers that your CSMs really can't. It's going to free up your teams so they can spend the time with those customers where it really matters, right? And it's going to touch all those accounts that you can't cover with a real CSM. So we have CSMs in the room, probably a bunch of them. Your job is really hard, right? Realistically, you can't just take a bot and say, hey, bot, be a CSM, because you guys do a lot of things, right? It's difficult. I've been working in this industry for, 11 years as of 2 days ago, right? And I see all the things that CSMs are doing. You have to know the customer's context. You have to know all of their preferences. You also have to know all the rest of the customers, right? You need to know what are some interesting things that you know your customers are going to benefit from. And you have to be a partner and help without being pushy, right? Which is the hardest part. Now, what's really cool is agents that are expected to support post-sales, right? They need all that same nuance and all that same information that your CSM teams are built on, all those same playbooks, right? And then really, there's really no one better to build these agents than Gainsight, because for over a decade, that's what we've been doing. We've been defining the CS playbooks. Now we can teach these agents to run those playbooks for you and your customers. We're building these agents that serve the right post-sale use cases that solve the problems that actually move the needle. It's all powered by the expertise that we bring to the table. We have the talent, we have the knowledge of doing this for practically 15 years, right? And we're seeing real results. This stuff is live, right? This stuff is out there in the wild. Companies like DocuSign are already using our renewal agent. They're getting value, it's in production, and they're really just leading the charge on these autonomous agents, which I think is amazing. So that's why I'm excited, and that's why I think DocuSign was so excited to sign up with us quickly as one of our design partners. So when we talk about the renewal agent itself, again, it's going to be trained on your playbooks, on your best practices, all the things that your CSMs, the actual people, have been doing for years. We can actually teach the agents this information. It's going to now allow you to touch all those long-tail customers that your human CSMs can't reach. Now, we're going to do a fun demo here. And in this case, I love this animation. I'm going to have to steal this for something. But for this demo, I'm going to step into the role of a director of renewals. Again, I'm going to be working for WizWide. And I'm a customer of Gainsight. And we're going to follow the agent as it renews one of our actual WizWide customers. And guess who? It's going to be Glinda again. So Glinda, the same user at Oz Enterprises, my same customer at Oz Enterprises, that we've been following along today. That's what we're going to be focusing on for our demo. And we know from our demo that Glinda is active in our community, right? She's using learning tools, which is awesome. She's showing positive sentiment in our surveys. We actually even expanded her recently, right? We have a nice upsell with her recently. So things are going awesome, and now it's time to renew. The renewal agent is actually going to jump in and step in and run that workflow with us. So let's take a look. Okay, so the first thing you're going to see here is a tailored renewal email. It's going to be sent to Glinda based on all the guidelines and guardrails that I have set for it. So the agent is not going to go rogue. I'm providing it guidance and insights on how I want it to perform and how I want it to reach out. Some of the cool things it's doing, it's pulling things like ROI. It's pulling account information, basically pulling a whole dossier of information about this account. It's then going to craft the email by itself based on, again, all of my preferences and all of Glinda's preferences, the things that we know about Glinda and her company, Oz Enterprises. It's not an old school generic email, right, where everybody gets the same thing, every sentence is the same thing. The agent is actually going to be writing every sentence to make it hyper-personalized and make sure it's an awesome experience. Now, this email went to Glinda 10 days ago, and everybody knows no one responds, right, to the first email, and you have to chase your customers down, right? So what's really cool about the agent is if they don't reply the first time, typically what happens when you send out a mass email? You send an email, you kind of hope for the best. You don't necessarily know if the people are replying, at least on the digital side. No oversight. What's cool about the agents can actually monitor this. The agents are going to know if Glinda is opening the email. They are going to know if Glinda is engaging with the activity. It knows when to follow up. So no more things falling through the cracks, right? Because you have agents actually running this for you. So what happens if Glinda doesn't respond? Because that often happens, right? What's cool with the agent is there's more modalities. If she doesn't respond, let's place a phone call, right? What's cool is when we place that phone call, it's going to have all the same context, all the same rules, all the same information that we had in that email. Now, we were kind of debating about this because we really want to do this phone call live today, right? And this is maybe a little bit off script, but we really wanted to prove to you that this is real stuff. This is amazing stuff. So we're just going to wing it. I figured I got the green shirt, right? I'm in Ireland, right? That's a lucky thing, right? Luck of the Irish. So we thought we'd go for it and see how this goes. So we're going to do this call live. I do need your help, though. Because we're doing this call live, it's going to hear everything Glinda has to say and everything you have to say. So I know you'll want to perform like a nice thunderous applause at the end, but if you could do me a favor, just kind of keep it quiet for a second until Glinda is done. And with that, we're going to give it a try. Let's see if we can get Glinda on the line.
Glinda, if that wasn't obvious.
Hi, Glinda. This is a renewal agent calling on behalf of Felix from WizWide on a... Thanks for letting me know, Ron. I apologize for the mix-up. Your account team will reach out to the right contact.
Can you start over? I think it heard me talking.
Of course, Ron. Hi, this is a renewal agent calling on behalf of Felix from WizWide on a recorded line. Do you have a minute to speak about your upcoming renewal?
I do. I love WizWide.
Thank you, Ron. I am calling to facilitate your renewal ahead of December 2nd and to address any questions you may have. Are you the best person to speak with about Oz Enterprises' WizWide contract?
Of course. My name is Glinda, and I am so popular.
Great, Glenda. Your team has been very active recently. Your spell upload usage is at 82%, and you have been using our new templates feature to streamline your magical workflows on the platform. Do you have any questions ahead of your renewal in a few weeks?
I've actually been practicing my French. Could you switch to French for me?
Bien sûr, Glenda. Votre équipe a été très active récemment. Votre utilisation des
Okay, hold on.
est à 4.2.
I think I need to keep practicing my French. Let's go back to English. What's my current contract value?
You are currently on the Magic Pro plan, and your renewal amount is 185,000 euros.
That seems a bit more expensive than last year, isn't it?
Yes, that is correct. You added 12 seats mid-year. Right, the increase reflects your updated seat count, and we have also added new features to your plan, many of which your team has been actively using. Is there anything else you would like to know about your renewal or usage?
I'm wondering, since I'm Glinda, if it's possible to get a discount?
I can offer you a 10% discount if you are willing to commit to a 3-year term instead of the standard 1-year renewal. That would bring your renewal from 185,000 euros down to 166,500 euros for the 3-year commitment. Would you like more details on that option?
No, that sounds perfect. If you send over the contract, I'll have my team take a look. Thank you so much and have a magical day.
Thank you for the thunderous applause. I knew it would be there. And in case you had any doubt, we did have a little hiccup, but you saw that Glinda was able to write it pretty quickly. It was pretty cool. So let's review what we just did. Am I clicking? There we go. Okay, so let's review what we just did. The first thing I'm going to do, again, you remember I'm Jason now, the Director of Renewal. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into that agent dashboard for WizWide. And what's cool is in this agent dashboard, I can see everything that the agent has been doing across all of my accounts, right? Everything is available, everything is visible, no black box, it's all right in front of you. So let's jump into Oz Enterprises, because I want to see what just happened. I want to see what the agent was actually doing out there. So what you'll see is the agent completed all the prescriptive playbook tasks, just like a human, right? And now I can see not only all the tasks that the agent has performed, more importantly, I can see all the context and all the reasoning. And I can see all the activity for me to check in on as a Director of Renewals, and I'm going to have to finish this renewal out. It's all going to sync automatically. It's all going to happen real time. So I can see the first email to Glinda, right? So I can see exactly what's happening on the email side. And I can see that call that we just did. It's going to be logged, and you're going to see all the things that Glinda requested, so then when a human in the loop takes over, that human has all the context of what the agent was doing. So rather than having humans draft all these emails, dozens of phone calls, and really, realistically, only be able to cover a fraction of their accounts, this agent is going to allow you to touch all of your accounts at scale. No more email blasts and crossing your fingers, right, and hoping for the best. Every one of these touches are going to be personalized, no more missed follow-ups, and all the next steps happen automatically, right? Like in our example with there was no response, happens all by itself. Now, I'm super excited about this, as you can tell. I hope you're all excited as well. And let's do a quick review about how Gainsight is making all these agents a reality. And I also want to talk a little bit more about how our customers are already using these agents in production. And to do that, I'm thrilled to announce the man behind the curtain, Prem Parameshwaran, our CTO, and Karen Shoup from DocuSign.
So thank you, Jason. That was an impressive demo, right? I don't know whose idea it was to try to do it live. And you know it was real because there was some glitches in the beginning. So Karen, welcome to Dublin. Welcome to Pulse. DocuSign is such an incredible brand. 1.7 million customers, 2 billion users worldwide. Those are some impressive numbers for an enterprise software company. So before we start talking about AI and agents, tell us a little bit about your journey in customer success and your role at DocuSign.
Thank you, Prem, and congratulations, a really great live demo. So it was a risk, but no risk, no fun. I think it worked very well, so congrats. Thank you for having me. I'm leading customer experience, customer success and account management for DocuSign in EMEA and Asia Pacific. Prior to joining DocuSign, I've been running different success motions, customer experience motions for the financial services sector throughout on a global scale for many years. And I've been really pleased to see over the years in how far customer success, and I think Gainsight has contributed to that in a large scale, has been really driving the enterprise motion in particular with very engaged customer success management motions. Since I joined DocuSign, I realized that there is a different need for the larger scale, for the tail end of the market, to drive customer success there as well, because obviously you can't just add on people in order to have manual interventions with customers. So what we've been running for a number of years now is different motions to run customer success at scale, and that goes with self-service, with digital motions, and Gainsight tools such as Journey Orchestrator, which has helped us tremendously to have better customer engagement and customer management. Now, I think with AI agents, we will drive a completely new way of interacting with customers because, again, we cannot reach out in person to every single client. 1.7 million, you mentioned, that's what DocuSign has as a customer base globally. So in order to be able to reach out to more customers much earlier in the renewal cycle and in the contract life cycle with us, these AI agents will drive a great role with this.
You know, that's an interesting journey for a relatively young industry. So how are you seeing this moment with AI and agents and the demo that you saw? How should customers and your peers think about this moment for customer success?
Yeah, that's a good question. Just over last weekend, from my son, who just entered high school, shared with me that his teachers now more and more actually stopped giving homework because they said, I don't want to waste my time correcting ChatGPT, which shocked me in the beginning. Mm-hmm. But then over time, actually, it also resonated with me because we see it in a day-to-day life now, how AI is entering whatever we do. And I think we need to start learning how to adapt and how to change the way we are coaching, teaching, and working, and making sure that we are setting ourselves, but also our customers up for success.
Got it. So we saw that demo, and what is interesting is that is not just real, it's actually in production. DocuSign customers are going through that entire experience with the calls and the emails right now as we speak. So DocuSign is an AI-first company, and when we see the announcements from DocuSign, we realize that DocuSign is also infusing agents across all of its products. So it kind of makes sense that when we decided to show up with this idea for a renewal agent, DocuSign was like, sign up for it. But the interesting thing is, when we decided to work on this, the technology wasn't yet there. These calls weren't as good as it seems now. And so we had kind of made the bet that we will start investing in this, finding the right customer, finding the right use case, and the technology will catch up, and that bet paid for us. So from your side, on the customer side, how did you make this decision when to invest, what to invest in, and why did you pick renewals, for example, as your use case?
Yeah, it's a good question. So first of all, DocuSign has made AI a core strategic driver for our business. And we did this by launching a new category called Intelligent Agreement Management, IAM, about 1.5 years ago now. So we recognize that AI will fundamentally change the way organizations are negotiating and managing contracts throughout the life cycle. And that will bring actually greater accuracy, risk mitigation, as well as efficiency. So as the industry evolves, we are committed to leading this change and helping our customers to realize the full value that AI will bring to the table. So now back to your question, why renewals as a starting point for AI agents? And thanks again for partnering with us in this, which has been really an exciting journey so far, and we are just at the beginning. We realized, especially looking at the long tail of the market, it's impossible, as I said earlier on, to reach out to every client really early enough in the contract life cycle. So we do this in a digital way. We do this by email. We do this in different functions. But what has been missing is really to interact with the client and ask, OK, are you happy? Are you satisfied with your DocuSign values that you have? And will you be willing to engage and renew when the contract expires or comes to renewal? And with the AI agents now, that will help us not only to get ahead of the curve much earlier in the renewal cycle, but also to recognize the fact that not all customers are willing to sign up for auto-renewals. So how do we make sure that we really get in touch with them ahead of the curve and understand what's working, what's not working, and how we can serve them better?
That is such a deliberate and pioneering way of thinking. But if I were in the audience and one of your peers going through the same conversation, the immediate next question is, this is very impressive, but how do I convince my leadership, how do I convince my board that we're moving from buying software to buying outcomes? How do I measure the value? And how do we know that the renewal agent is working and it's producing the results that are being promised? How do you go through that process?
Yeah, that's a good question and a valid one, absolutely. Boards always ask for outcomes and values to prove. It's early days, I think, Prem. But first of all, I would tell them, try it out yourselves. I actually did. I played the customer. I tried it in different languages, talking to this agent. And it's been really fascinating. I must say, we still have work to do. It's not perfect.
Yep.
But it's amazing. And I think that customers will appreciate it, the proactive reach out that we haven't had in the past at that stage. And I think in terms of KPIs we will be setting, they are all naturally about improving the customer experience. They are all about efficiency gains, which will help our teams to make time to have higher value conversations with the customers and to take better care of our clients. And that ultimately what counts. And that's what's also going to drive net revenue retention. And that's what the board is all about. So I'm sure when we show these outcomes with the additional efficiency and customer experience and net revenue retention, that the board will come on board.
Perfect. ROI. That's the word that everybody is looking for.
For sure.
Thank you. And with that, let me invite back on stage our CEO, Chuck Ganapathy. Chuck.
Thank you, Brand. Great job.
Wow, 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 wow. I am so inspired. Thank you to our demo crew that was standing here for an hour and a half doing all those incredible demos. I hope you're as inspired as I am right now. You know, that partnership with DocuSign has been so transformational for us as a company, and I couldn't be happier to have them on stage to share the experience they've had with Atlas and all the great work that our teams are doing together. Okay, we're going to wrap this up now. Now, before we leave, I just want to take a moment to thank our sponsors, without whose support this gathering would not be possible. So please go to the expo floor and say hello to those folks. Now, let's recap what we covered today. We covered a lot, but I'll just boil it down to these three things. Number one, retention is existential. We talked about agentic coding and how that's commoditizing software development. And in that world, we have to be thinking about retention as an existential thing for our companies. Number two, in this world, it's imperative that we treat every one of our customers like our best. And the way to do that is by shifting our thinking from workflows to outcomes. And you heard from Karen at Intercom how the company was able to make that transformation. Not easy, but it's absolutely essential to do. And third, and most importantly, what does retention mean in the agentic era? And how do we achieve that goal of treating every customer like our best customer? It's by bringing the magic of humans, of digital, and agents working together to deliver retention as a service. That's it. It's as simple as that. Now, you might be thinking, wow, that's a lot of change. And change is, it's hard. And it's scary. With the pace of change that's happening in AI, we might be wondering, what does this all mean? But change doesn't have to be scary. Think about Dorothy walking the Yellow Brick Roadmap. She didn't walk it alone, and neither do you. So I encourage you, and I ask you, over the next 2 days at Pulse in Europe, be bold, be open, be engaged, because the real learning happens with each other. With that, welcome to Pulse. Have a lot of fun and have a lot of learnings. Thank you very much.